Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel.
A
This
control
is one of my
point has
first
been
videos,
lost.
so I'd like to start out with Loadout. This is Loadout. This game has been in beta for quite some time now. It
New
still
control
is.
point activated.
But on Steam, you can actually purchase it for $10. You can. Steam also has a setup where you can purchase it for extra stuff, which I actually ended up doing later on down the line. But I thought I'd show you guys this game. It's pretty damn fun. The main focus of this game, or the focal point I should say, is the weapon customization. Basically, you start out with a few
A control
basic
point
weapon
has been
types.
lost.
There's 4 or 5. You can have a rifle, a beam weapon, excuse me,
New
one
control
is called
point
a pulse.
activated.
then you can have a launcher. I think that's it. But basically, these weapon types, you can mix and match any different parts that you want. So say you want to change the barrel and the magazine. You can do that. You can do whatever you want. You can change it to make it a shotgun, sniper rifle. You can make the rocket launcher with 6 rockets firing at once or at multiple times. You can fire off the rockets. Like that guy, I think he actually shot off like 3 rockets at me once. You can do like burst fire, but you can change every different attachment on the weapon, which is what I like the most. And for a game that's $10 in beta, by the way, this game will be free to play as soon as it comes out to the public. This for $10, getting early access, I highly recommend it because not too many people are playing it right now. Obviously, it's not as popular as a lot of other for good reason. But I'd say this game is one of the best independent shooter games that has come out this year, or actually in a long time. Basically, saying this is it's like the new Minecraft. Sheer creativity that goes into this game, it's kind of ridiculous. It's funny, it's comical, because it's all cartoony looking, but it's gory. And the gameplay is really fun. It's not one of those slow shooting games, it's actually fast paced. It's really energetic, you know. Here's tempting to play right now. I actually have my level, I believe I'm
You have
level
lost a
11.
control point. The enemy has 5
I
captures
have
remaining.
four loadouts here. There is no secondary weapon. I mean, technically, there is. You have 2 weapons,
New
but they're both
control
like
point
primaries.
activated.
Both rifles or whichever you change to. So here's my 4 classes that I have unlocked right now. First one I have a basic assault rifle. And I believe it was another rifle that would heal. It can heal teammates. That's another cool thing too. You can make weapons not only that deal damage to enemies, but you can also make weapons that heal your teammates or yourself. You can make weapons that buff them. Buffing is like another, it's almost like healing in this game. Basically, it makes you stronger, faster, makes you do more damage. But you can have that. There's also elemental damage that you can do. There's basically fire, electric, which they call Tesla. But you know, it really depends on what you pick because they each do different things. Like fire will damage the player after a duration. Tesla will actually does less damage, just like fire. Fire does less damage. But what Tesla will do is it will arc to other players that are in the area. So if you're hitting one of the enemies and he has some of his buddies over there and they're not paying attention, you could arc over and damage them. It doesn't do as much damage, but it will do a significant amount if you have it on, say, a rifle like this. which is really, really good when you're in a group. But otherwise, by itself, it's best, I would say. I'm getting my ass kicked with this loadout. I don't even know why. I don't know why I picked that loadout to begin with. This one, I named my rocket launcher Fucknut. I named my sniper rifle Snippy Snipes 9000. Basically, my sniper rifle is just a pure damage output rifle. And rocket launcher, I've actually changed this rocket launcher quite a few times, trying to figure out the best ways to work with it. But this rocket launcher, I believe right now it fires off 3 rockets, semi-auto.
New control point activated.
They deal fire damage. They're explosive. They blow up on contact. The cool thing with launchers in this game is that you can change the amount of rockets in the barrel. You can change the way they're fired, how many are fired at one time, their type of explosion, how they detonate. There's a lot more that goes into certain weapon types. But launchers are the coolest, you know. And another thing too, this...
You have captured a control point.
But anyway, it's basically like domination or capture
New control
King of the Hill.
point activated.
Go and control, you try to control a point that's in an area, and like at the top of the screen, you have to capture it fully before the enemy does. What happens is if you taunt on the point, you'll actually make it go by faster. So right now, at the level I'm at, I have a new piece of equipment. You have like a grenade slot, equipment slot I should say, and you can change it for a bunch of things. Like grenades are the ones that you start out with. There's that turret, you can change to a turret. There's also fake health packs and health packs that you pick up that will actually kill if you walk over it. There's like other different types of grenades too.
New control point activated.
Basically what I've found out since I've gotten this game is that grenades are your best friend. Turrets are kind of tricky because they work depending on which weapon you have in hand when you set them down. Basically, whatever weapon you're using on hand, what that turret is going to change to. So say I had a turret right now, it would turn into that rocket launcher that I'm holding right now. If I had my sniper out, it would turn into the sniper rifle, and it would just be an extra gun on the field, but it's stationary. So it's okay, like, if your gun is really, really good, you have a very good advantage over a lot of other players. But honestly, I prefer using grenades. They save you so much. I can't tell you enough. Probably a good 80% of the time, grenades will actually save you. And that's what I like about them. They will... It's not like last Call of Duty where they deal nearly enough damage as they should. Grenades, they will kill you if you land directly on top of them. Like, they will kick your ass, which I like a lot more. They should. Explosives should do a lot more. See, like that guy. He landed almost directly on top of it. Again, he landed almost directly on top of those grenades, and it did a significant amount of damage on top of it. So, that's what I do like about this game. There are quite a few parts of it that are balanced, but it is still in beta, so they do need to fix quite a few things. For example, for some of the attachments, when I go back to the elemental damage, like the fire that I'm using on my rocket launcher, they say that attachment, or they call it payload, is what they call
Control point
the
lost.
effects.
The enemy has scored,
guns.
and the match is now tied.
Payloads are all different. They each vary in damage output or
activated.
effect. The problem is, they put fire damage as the highest damage dealing attachment or payload. The problem is it doesn't deal immediate damage. It's over time that it's supposed to deal
Control point
more damage.
lost. The enemy has scored.
From my
They are now
experience,
in
it
the
hasn't
lead.
actually done that. Whenever I use fire damage, it does deal quite a lot,
New
but
control point
it doesn't
activated.
kill quickly enough. Like, it's a very prolonged effect. It doesn't kill as quickly as you think it would, even though it's supposed to deal a lot more damage. So that's why slugs and normal exploding rockets deal the most damage. Slug attachment is balanced and most effective against enemies. See, like, I have 3 rockets. I'm using 3 rockets in a barrel. The best part about that is they fire quickly. The more rockets that you have in your launcher, the faster you'll fire your weapon. But the less amount of damage they'll do because it's a smaller shell. But I mean, I also have a fire damage on it. Fire effect, payload. Excuse me. I'm getting confused with myself here. Payload that has fire will do the prolonged effect where it damages itself. So it does a good amount of damage. It's just 3 rockets. One rocket does a amount of damage, but it's also very slow to reload. But I also have the fire damage on it, so it does that extra bit of damage, and then it also is quicker than most launchers. See, like right there, the last change that I had on this rifle, I believe it had 6 rockets. And it's really not the greatest. It fires really, really fast, but it does such low amount of damage that it's not even worth using half the time. It doesn't do enough. So I actually ended up changing it from the last loadout. Now it's actually working a lot better. I can kill people relatively quickly with it because it deals a lot of burst damage and it hits hard. So that's the best part about this game, though, is that you can change anything up whenever you want. You could back out of this lobby right now, go to the customization menu, and you can change anything about your weapon.
You have lost a control point.
The difficult
The enemy
part
has
about
2
this game,
captures remaining.
when it comes to weapon customization, is that you have in-game cash called Spacebucks.
New control
What
point
Spacebucks does is it allows you to buy different attachments. You can also buy different costumes or skins like the one I'm wearing now. I've paid for all of this stuff, except for the space helmet that I actually got for. I paid more for the game, kind of help the developers out, which you can do. I believe it's the base price to get the game for early access is $10. And I think next up is $25 and then $40. I paid
Control point
$40.
has been lost. The enemy has only
I
1
got the extra
capture
stuff.
remaining.
But anyway, Spacebucks is the name of the in-game cash, and that's what you use to buy everything. You use
New
it to
control point
buy
activated.
your different parts for your weapons. You use it to buy looks for your character. You also use it to buy taunts as well. I think that's pretty much it. But
You have lost.
that's the whole point of the game, is customization. And Spacebucks, it's difficult sometimes when it comes to customization because every different attachment is in a tier. There's tier 1, 2, 3, and I believe it goes even higher than that. The higher tier you go, the more expensive the parts are. So I'll show you in a second. This is, I believe, a balance attachment that you can get for the rockets. And you can normally get that part by just buying it. Go to weapon crafting. Okay, so here's my launcher. Fuck that. Here's what I mean. You can change the stock, the scope, the barrel, the trigger. It's the payload that you can change. I'll show you this real quick. use a slug, which does your base damage. It's most basic and balanced effect you can use. It's basic kinetic damage, causes direct damage. It's the most direct and balanced form of a weapon. There's Tesla, which arcs the enemies. Pyro, which burns them. Which does DOT damage over time. Then there's the health effect, where you can heal teammates, and Juice, where you can buff them and make them stronger. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's propulsion for your rocket launcher. You can fire a normal rocket, you can make it so it's lobbed in an arc. Agile, which makes the rocket go very slow, but it does more damage. Order, so you can make it go up really high and then come down and hit hard. Scuttle is interesting. Scuttle, the rockets move across the ground. They deal a lot more damage. Corkscrew, it spins in a corkscrew like that. See, all these have different effects. The type of shell you use, you can use a normal impact where it explodes once it hits something. Bouncing, which is what I just saw my experience bar after the game. Your shells can bounce all over the place. And then there's sticky, so it's like a sticky shell. Sticky people on other surfaces. You have different detonation style that you can use, where it explodes on contact. You can manually detonate your rockets, which, in my opinion, is the greatest thing. I'd rather just let it explode where I fire it. Then you can also time it. I've never used that, so I don't really care for that much. And for explosion, dispersal, you can have regular explosions, you can have a cluster of little bombs that come out, and explosions. You can have flak, which is also small explosives that come out from the main one, and they cause damage over time. It's shrapnel, basically. But that's only the first tier for all those different parts. Okay, here's an example. Scope set you can use for this. You can use normal iron sights, you can use a recon scope, optical zoom, long range scope, remote control. Each one of these, the recon, the optical, and the long range, they each do a different magnification of zoom. Remote control, you can actually take the point of view of the rocket and you can control it where it goes. That's just the first tier for that class. Here's where it gets interesting as well. You can unlock new tiers by... Let me show you how this works. I do want to... You can go to your locker contracts. These are basically in-game challenges where once you complete them, you are rewarded with these upgrade points that are used to unlock the next tiers. These upgrade points here. Basically, once you unlock a new tier, there are a few new pieces, new parts that you do unlock. But, like I was saying earlier, the problem is it's going to cost a lot more. See, it's not a good example because I already have parts for all those. Parts for all those. Oh, jeez, I have a lot of parts saved up for all these. Let me actually change weapons. You know, there's a few weapons where I'm starting to run out of jeez. A lot more parts than I thought. Anyway, what I was trying to get to is that you pay more for higher tiered weapons. Basically, more damage you want with the different effects, you're gonna have to pay more for higher tier weapons because they're weapon pieces, because they will do more for your weapon. And it's ridiculous the amount of customization you can put in. The stocks, the trigger, the scope, the barrel, all your different effects down here in the bottom right. It shows all of your stats that change constantly. So that's just weapon crafting. You can change your whole look of your character, which is also ridiculous. Let's just another stupid. this is what your base character looks like. This is what he starts out as. You can change your hair, your facial hair. You can put a mask on, glasses. That's just for the head. Okay. You can put on a fucking top, necklace. There's only dog tags right now, but I'm sure as soon as the game comes out fully for the public, we're gonna add a lot more stuff, not just for character customization, but for weapon customization as well. I mean, you can do skins. Look at all the clothes you can change. And then taunts, where I have actually given in and bought some taunts. Space bucks that was given. You can do the dance that Carlton from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air does. Hold on, one more time. So let that soak in for a few minutes. I also have. It's gotta happen. Michael Jackson, anyone? Yes. Play on words, slick criminal, smooth criminal. Yeah. Anyway, I have those three. There's a bunch of other ones that you can buy. I'll show you. It's like a big Gangnam Style. It's funny, but I don't know about that. But I mean, there's so much you can change with this game. It's awesome. There's so many good things about this, and I'll actually. This is mainly a video to explain what's all going on with this game. It's not finished yet, but I believe it's going to be fully ready soon. There's actually a few maps that they haven't finished yet. They're still in alpha form. They don't have any textures or skins or anything on the map. So it's still being looked at carefully. Developers are still trying to fix things and make things more balanced for the players, for the community. They really do listen. I mean, they even have where if you hit F7, you can report a bug or abuse at any time, and it simply takes a screenshot. So the developers of the game, they really do want you to have the best experience, and they want to make sure that everything is working well with their game. I highly recommend this game. Loadout is one of those indie games that is very creative, it's very fun and kooky, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people would enjoy this because it's unlike most shooters that are out there. It's a very different take on a third-person shooter, and I really do hope that other people come along and test it out. It's only $10 on Steam right now. You could pay that extra to get some other things like more space bucks or customizable features. I highly recommend you just go with the $10. If you want to support them more, go for it. I supported them as much as I can. And I still play this game every day, just about every day, not every other. It's addicting, it's fun, it's amazing. These guys, they put together a great game so far, and I hope it just gets even better from here, because I'm highly satisfied with this game in beta format as is. But anyway, guys, I'm Polish Freak. I'll catch you on the flip side.